Today I'm going to be ranking every single death in Regular Show from worst to best. Regular Show has a lot of hilarious deaths, a lot of action-packed deaths, and even some emotional deaths, whether it's from our main characters, the villains, whoever it is. I'm going to be ranking all of these deaths from worst to best, and there are a ton of deaths in the series, so if I miss your favorite death, I'm so sorry. Maybe it was just a little insignificant compared to the rest, but I tried to get the majority of them. I have over 61 deaths to talk about today, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like videos just like this, please make sure to like and subscribe, because I have a SpongeBob ranking coming up, a BoJack ranking coming up, and obviously more Regular Show content that you don't want to miss. So without further ado, let's rank every single death in Regular Show.
Congrats! You're getting another promotion!
And starting off this list at number 61 from the episode Win That Prize is going to be the death of the CEO. In this episode, Pops just keeps climbing up the corporate ladder, and he eventually gets all the way to being like the second in command. And when the CEO of the company calls him into the office to tell him the way out of this company, because apparently he got there just the day before Pops, he tells him that the way out is to literally die. So he brings Pops close, and he's like, "I found a way out," and then he just collapses and dies right there on the table.
Congrats! You're getting another promotion!
And yeah, you just kind of feel bad for this guy. Not a very crazy death, not a very hilarious death. He just dies right in front of Pops, and then Pops gets promoted. That's why it earns the number 61 spot. Just not a whole lot going on.
Hey, school is overrated! I didn't go to school, and look at me!
And coming in at number 60 from the episode Stake Me Amadeus is the death of the Capicola gang. And they would have ranked so much higher if they would have actually just let them die in the episode Fuzzy Dice, because in the episode Fuzzy Dice, they got gunned down by a minigun, shot by snipers. It was just so cool. It was one of the first times that you ever see something like this, especially as a kid, in a cartoon, because at that point, I don't think I had ever even seen a gun in a cartoon at all. But Regular Show pushed that boundary and allowed guns to be in it, and the one time that they used them to their full extent, it was so cool. It was awesome watching this Freddy Fazbear animatronic guy get gunned down by a minigun, thrown into a boat, and then shot with a rocket.
Smoke 'em.
But it turns out he actually survived, so I can't really include that in the list because he survived, and he comes back in this episode, Stake Me Amadeus, and oh my gosh, Mordecai and Margaret are breaking up, but the Capicola gang are in a shootout with everybody, which was kind of cool, and then they just get exploded by missiles by the owner of the restaurant.
Hey, school is overrated! I didn't go to school, and look at me!
And it was just kind of lame. Like, when you compare it to how they lost in Fuzzy Dice and how they died in Fuzzy Dice compared to this, it just kind of sucks. I wish they just stayed dead in Fuzzy Dice so that I could rank their deaths super high up. But the second coming of the Freddy Fazbear animatronics in Regular Show was just not that good. That's why it ranks super low on the list.
This lesson will psychologically scar me for years to come.
And at number 59 from the episode Bet to Be Blonde, it's going to be the death of the hundreds of blondes inside of their facility. And this is always kind of weird when I'm not ranking an entire episode. I haven't done a video like this where I'm just ranking a single part of an episode in a very long time, because I think the build up to their deaths is pretty good, with them like trying to escape this like evil blonde cult using the ring lasers. But the blonde's actual deaths is kind of just in a way off screen and doesn't really have a whole lot to it. I mean, they just place the ring down, that being Mordecai. He has his ring, he sets it to self-destruct, and then they barely escape by blowing up the entire facility, and all of the blondes there die. That's about it. I'm going to have a lot of just explosion ones coming up where you don't really get to see what happens. Everybody just explodes, and then there's like a cool explosion in the background. Those aren't really my favorites, so they're going to be taken a little bit lower on the list. Cool nonetheless.
How about now, Benson?
Then at number 58 from the episode Cool Bikes, we have the death of everybody inside of this like giant cool mood thing, because Mordecai and Rigby have to go there because they're just too cool. They're on trial with Broseph Chillaxington and his lawyer. They're trying to arrest him for being cool, and it's up to Benson to come there, save them, and escape. And this one ranks just slightly higher than Bet to Be Blonde because it's also just an explosion death, except this one is actually pretty cool compared to the last one. We get to see the full-on explosion. We get to see all the build-up, the chase scene, to when they finally, like, you know, hit that switch and explode the entire place. It's just a lot better than the Bet to Be Blonde one, but then again, it's just not very cool when you're doing an entire list on some really awesome deaths.
Oh yeah, man, lay it on me right here.
And coming in at number 57 from the episode Party Repeat, we're going to have the explosion at the end of that episode that kills all of the corporate party people and all of like the clone party people because they just start force feeding Party Pete all of his soda, and all of our main characters are able to escape with Herman Werfel. We can't forget about Herman Werfel, the original Party Pete, who is not very party-esque. But either way, they just start force feeding this Party Pete some soda, the actual Party Pete there. He's going drinking it down his gullet, and he eventually explodes, destroying the entire facility. And I felt like it was just kind of, a rehash of the original Party Pete episode, where they do the same exact thing, but with those, 1980 sodas. And I think that episode did it way better than this one. And I'm just not a big fan of this episode in general, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit biased towards this overall death. I think it's cool nonetheless. It's definitely better than, Bet to Be Blonde and Cool Bikes, but overall, it's just another explosion for me.
Who doesn't even know he exists?
I'll kill you!
And at number 56 from the episode It's Time, it's going to be the first ever death of Rigby. And this one just caused so much controversy because, you have so many different problems with this death. First of all, you have Rigby being an asshole for the entire episode that kind of sets up this death to be very deserving. But should Mordecai have shoved him off of this microwave into the abyss, literally watching him get disintegrated?
Who doesn't even know he exists?
I'll kill you!
No. But then you also have the argument that Rigby shoved him first, Rigby was being an asshole, and was trying to steal the one girl that Mordecai has been in love with for 4 years. So did Rigby deserve to die? I don't know. He definitely deserved to get the shit beat out of him, but overall, you shouldn't wish death upon your best friend, but I'm pretty sure if Rigby was also a 6-foot-tall blue jay, he would have killed Mordecai with that shove the first time. So yeah, this death ranks super low just because of how controversial it is, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It keeps you talking about the episode, but overall, this is just the worst you could get out of Rigby, the worst you could get out of Mordecai, and it's all combined in Rigby's horrifying death of watching him just get disintegrated. And I will give it a little bit of bonus points because it is just one of the most gruesome deaths in the entire series.
Froze you thousands of years ago. I made you what you are and what you always must be.
And coming in at number 55 from the episode Night Owl, it's going to be the death of Night Owl. And in this episode, Night Owl is able to freeze Mordecai, Rigby, High Five Ghost, and Muscle Man for thousands of years, staying inside of this tent. And with that, he's able to become the most famous person in the entire planet because for some reason, having these people compete in this contest for years and years and years makes you the most powerful person in the entire world. And you would think that the most powerful person in the entire world would have, limitless capacity to do whatever he wants and to be able to stop 4 people from driving a car in his facility with some high-tech something. But no, we get this really cool chase scene with everybody escaping from Nightwing's facility after they eventually wake up, and Mordecai, Rigby, and High Five Ghost and Muscle Man are almost to the exit, and that's when Night Owl shows up, and instead of, having a plan to, stop this car, he's just all like, I can't let you leave, and just stands there. That's all he does, and then they drive into him and run him over, and he just dies. That's how future Night Owl dies. He just gets hit, his stupid little head falls out of his robot, crumbles onto the floor, and that's how he dies. And it's just so dumb. What were you expecting them to do? You're gonna stand there, be like this, and then have no other plan if they decide to drive at you? What were you expecting? It's such a dumb death. It's such a dumb death from the most powerful guy on the entire planet at the time. Coming in at number 54 from the episode Daddy Issues is going to be the death of this gopher right here. Yeah, he gets hit in the balls with a golf ball and he dies and his head literally explodes. I just think this one is pretty funny. That's why it ranks up a tad bit higher. Not too high on the list, but it's funny enough to get a decent spot.
Ace.
And coming in at number 53 from the episode Ace Balthazar Lives, we get to learn how Ace Balthazar dies. And this kind of guy, he's the guy that really likes to crash, which is really weird. He just likes raging. That's like his entire gimmick of his entire life. He just starts tweaking and freaking out and trying to break everything. And in this case, he's driving a bus for some reason because, the bus driver just gets tossed out of the way. He takes over the bus and he starts to, crash.
Ace.
And he crashes the bus and he dies. Luckily, his band members survive. But yeah, he crashes and he dies right there. And it's a very okay death. It's very expected for a guy that just likes to rage and cause, bodily harm to himself at any turn of his life. But yeah, it's an okay death. It earns a spot.
This is the best night ever!
And coming in at number 52 from the episode Access Denied is just this random party goer that I feel so bad for. At the beginning of the episode, we learn that he's been waiting in line for years to get into this high access exclusive club. He's been waiting a very long time, and this night is the night that he finally gets to go in. My man gets to go in there. He's living it up. He's having the life of his party, but he really shouldn't have been in there when Mordecai and Rigby were in there, because it's just such bad timing that the two people that cause death and destruction wherever they go and always leave death in their wake just so happen to be in the club at the same time as this poor sap here. And when they're running away from LaDonna, the owner of the club, because Mordecai isn't in love with LaDonna and Rigby decided to strip all of his clothes off, yeah, it's kind of funny, she fires a powerful energy glowing beam blast at Mordecai and they dodge it, and it just so happens to hit this guy who had spent years trying to get into this club, and he dies right there, and you feel so bad for this guy. That's why I ranked it a little higher on the list.
This is the best night ever!
There's are way better deaths on this list from more important characters, but you still can't help but to feel bad for this guy.
What about me, fellas? What about you? I think it's time to put you back in the trash.
And then at number 51 from the episode Pie Contest, we're going to have the death of Promise Pie. And Promise Pie was just trying to help them judge their competition. And he starts trying to eat a lot of people.
Give me... Promise!
So Mordecai and Rigby have to start telling the truth about how much every single person there's pie sucked so bad. Tell Pops that he's the winner. Tell Margaret that she's a horrible cook and a rancid person, and that her pie was the shittiest pie that Mordecai had ever tasted because it was somehow burnt and raw. And all of this helps to defeat Promise Pie, who had been going around eating everybody, and he turns back into his normal little pie self, and he just gets picked up by a shovel and thrown into a garbage can. And for a little evil piece of pie, I think that's a pretty deserving, pretty valid death.
In the trash.
And yeah, it's not the most overwhelming death, not the most underwhelming, not the greatest death in the entire series, but it's pretty well deserved, and it's a pretty good death for a tiny little piece of pie.
4.1 kilohertz sample rate!
And coming in at number 50 from the episode The Last Laserdisc Player, it's going to be the death of pretty much everybody in this entire episode at the end. We get this super awesome battle between all of the Disc Masters and the Disc Guardian versus all of the VHS people, and I think it's really cool. I think it's a pretty cool fight. The deaths I'm going to be specifically looking at here, though, are just the Disc Guardian when he transforms into this giant crystal guy and starts just, screaming. He blows up a dude's head, and I thought that was pretty funny.
4.1 kilohertz sample rate!
And then you just get this really cool sequence where he sends a bunch of electricity, and it's like Call of Duty Zombies, Wonder Waff style, electricity just zapping in their eyes and just going back to all of their heads.
Hang out with you guys.
I thought that was so cool. That definitely just immediately made me think of playing zombies, and I was a zombies addict as a kid. I just loved that game mode so much. So this was a great death. It's really visually pretty awesome. It just ranks a little bit low because, it's just a bunch of fodder deaths. Nobody really interesting dies here. It's just basically a bunch of background soldier characters all dying. It doesn't make it any less interesting. I still enjoyed it a lot, though.
Just wanted a burger.
And coming in at number 49 from the episode The Best Burger in the World, it's going to be the death of Glass Mordecai and Glass Rigby, and they just get rocks thrown at them after they fight with Mordecai and Rigby over the I can taste the Himalayas burgers, the best burgers in the world. They're just fighting over those, and Mordecai and Rigby are like, oh, they're made of glass, let's throw rocks at them. And then they eventually take the little stopper out of the truck and they throw it at them as well, and that's how they die.
No, we just wanted a burger.
It's pretty okay. We get some good classical music in the background. I enjoyed it a lot. A cherry on top in this death episode is the fact that they take the wheel stopper. I'm blanking on what those are called, but whatever. They just take those out, and the truck that the Best Burger in the World guys are in just starts rolling backwards into the crash pit, and they die as well.
Where'd the truck go?
Fight, 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 fight.
So that added a little bit to this death ranking overall. Yeah, so earns its spot. And coming in at number 48 from the episode Big Winner, this episode's kind of debatable on how many people actually die from everything Muscle Man is doing, because in this episode, Mordecai and Rigby prank him by giving him a fake lottery ticket that says he wins $1 million, and upon, going to cash it in and discovering that it's not $1 million, well, he gets a little bit angry and just starts maliciously, like just attacking everybody there, trying to murder every single person there, and I can't really tell how many people actually die from the things he's doing. I mean, there's basically 3 deaths that I'm looking at where I could say he probably most definitely killed some people, where he just grabs this one guy by the ankle and just starts flinging him around and throws him out of the building. Yeah, I think that guy might be dead. There's also a tiny scene where he throws a truck at this guy that's in a mech or something, and he definitely might have killed that guy, that I could be sure about. The other people, they're just getting thrown around, tossed around, but there's one person that I could say is 100% dead. There's no, debate about it. Just imagine, this is your job to just, be a security guard, be a SWAT team member, and you go to fight this giant humanoid green man who is just raging and freaking out, just going, bring me my money now. And you walk up to him and he just roundhouse kicks your head off. Yeah, it's pretty gruesome for a regular show. I can't believe that Muscle Man just kills that guy and there's no repercussions, because at the end of the episode, the dude's literally like, we'll take care of all the costs. He literally kicked a guy's head off. What do you mean there's no repercussions? It doesn't matter if he's mad about the money. What? Either way, feel bad for that guy. That's why I rank so high on the list.
But what if they come back?
They ain't coming back.
And coming in at number 47 from the episode The Unicorns Have Got to Go, it's going to be the death of the unicorns. And these stupid-ass douchebagacorns, I hate them so much. They're so annoying. I mean, they even make Mordecai drink cum, semen, whatever you want to call it, poop, piss. I don't know. It's horrible, and I hate them so much. They're assholes the entire episode, and that's their purpose. You're supposed to hate them, but they make the episode so unenjoyable, which makes their death at the end all the more satisfying, with them sending them off a ramp into the sky, and they get blown up.
But what if they come back?
They ain't coming back.
It's a very satisfying death. It's very deserved because of how much you hate the unicorns by the end of this episode. But overall, I mean, it's fine for what it is. There's definitely way better. But overall, it's fine for what it is. There's definitely better deaths in the series. That's why it still ranks pretty low. But I mean, it's very good to watch these stupid-ass unicorns explode. It feels great. And coming in at number 46 from the episode Local News Legend, it's going to be the death of Jackie Carmichael. And this entire ending sequence of this episode, with Margaret barely managing to escape on Chopper 6, and then just Jackie Carmichael's van crashing, and just her getting destroyed and blown up. I was a little hesitant to even put this one on the list, though, because you could see her, little robot flesh or whatever, crawling away at the end. So did she actually die? I don't know. We'll probably never find out, because this episode sucks, and nobody really cares about Jackie Carmichael that much anyway. Overall, it's fine. I mean, just watching it crash was pretty cool. Jackie Carmichael's voice actor does a really good job of just, being afraid of the impending doom. I enjoyed that aspect. Overall, a pretty, middle-of-the-road death for me, though.
Oh, Dad,
And coming in at number 45 from the episode Format Wars 2, the death that I'm specifically looking at here is going to be the death of our Discmaster Guardian. He's in his golden crystallized form. He's talking to DVD, and I really just like the build up to this death, because it's just him apologizing. He's just like, you want to start the road to healing? And his dad's just like, wah, wah. Oh, Dad, we can finally start this road to healing. And then streaming or internet or whatever he is at this point of the series just comes over and just blasts him and kills him right there.
Oh, Dad,
It's not very emotional. It's not very tense, because, I mean, you don't really have a connection to either of these characters. I mean, this is the second appearance of the Discmaster Guardian, and, I mean, he's fine. He just dies right there. That's the end of him. Overall, pretty funny death to me. Maybe I'm just a bad person, but I thought this death was hilarious. That's why I'm going to rank it up at number 45.
I'm the victim here! You're the one who hit on my wife!
And coming in at number 44, it's going to be from the episode Playdate, and it's going to be the death of this, like, ox buff man who's, like, half human, half ox, and he's chasing after Mordecai, CJ, and Thomas, because, I mean, I kind of feel bad for this guy, because, I mean, if you do look at it from his perspective, a blue jay comes into hell, they've never seen this guy before, with a toddler, and Thomas, of course, you know, he was just doing a little bit of trolling, trying to ruin Mordecai's life, but is all like, I will not ask this woman for her phone number, and trying to hit on this mantis lady for Mordecai. So if you were the husband and you heard that this blue jay over here was trying to use a toddler to hit on your pregnant wife, you would probably get a little bit angry too. And yeah, that's what leads to this chase scene, and eventually they jump this gorge, and this poor ox guy, he falls down into the abyss, and he dies and explodes, and he even says exactly what I was thinking at this point. He's just like, you guys were the guys trying to hit on my wife.
I'm the victim here! You're the one who hit on my wife!
So yeah, I mean, you just kind of feel bad for this guy because, I mean, should he have tried to kill them? Maybe not, but was it kind of deserved with the knowledge that he had? Yeah, a little bit. And coming in at number 43 from the episode Real Date, it's going to be when CJ kills the owner of Couple Corral. And this death is just so weird to me, but it's so funny, it's so good. CJ gets super pissed off because she thinks that Mordecai is literally dead because the owner of Couple Corral, he's sitting there in his sub, he fires a missile at CJ, and Mordecai saves CJ by jumping into the way of it. CJ loses her cool, turns into a giant cloud, and just fires a lightning strike, and it hits this dock, and then his car rolls off and hits this gas tank, and this gas tank causes the horns from the truck to shoot up and hit this blimp, and then the blimp falls onto the sub, which kills the Couple Corral guy. Yeah, a very interesting sequence of how we were going to get to this death, but I enjoyed it nonetheless, and his last words are hubris. Why? Why would you say that? But either way, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was pretty funny. It was overall a pretty good death for that scumbag. And yeah, I think it's one of CJ's only kills in the entire series. And yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. And coming in at number 42 from the episode Journey to the Bottom of the Crash Pit, it's going to be the death of all of the Carlocks. And I kind of feel bad for these guys. I mean, I know they were kind of the antagonists of the episode, but I mean, if you were a species that lived underground and then suddenly there's a giant pit there, and your only way to survive is to eat all of the things that come from this pit, your only form of entertainment is the things that come from this pit, and when, you know, cars are only thrown in there maybe once a month and you're just living off the scraps, of course you're going to be very excited when a video camera falls down into this pit and you see a really funny video on it of a raccoon going just freaking out. You know, that's what Rigby's doing because he was very scared of the crash they were doing in the crash pit. So Mordecai, Rigby, High Five Ghost, and Muscle Man all have to go down into the crash pit, and they steal the camera back, and Benson starts filling up the crash pit, and all these Carlocks just get buried in the sludge of dirt and they all die. It's a pretty epic chase scene though, but I feel a little bit bad for the Carlocks because, I mean, they were just trying to hang on to their one form of entertainment in this harsh world, and because of that, they all get buried in some dirt and die a pretty gruesome death.
Easy!
And coming in at number 41 from the episode Power Tower, it's going to be this random guy that is showing Muscle Man how to do the shredder, because Muscle Man is trying to win a bodybuilding competition. His dad, of course, knows that Muscle Man is going to do this for some reason, so he leaves him a note and a video showing him how to do the shredder, which is just one of the most, like, body contorting, stretching things I've ever seen. It looks pretty gruesome, and Muscle Man is watching the video, and while the guy doing it, showing the shredder, he misses the hand clasp, and yeah, he dies. He explodes.
Oh, he's going behind the head for the hand clasp. I think he's gonna do it. I think he's...
And I think what makes this death all the better is just Muscle Man's reaction.
Easy!
Yeah, I just think him saying that this looks so easy after watching a guy literally explode. Oh, it's just so funny and so good. But I mean, technically he was right. I mean, the first time he ever went for it, he was able to do the shredder. So I mean, maybe that guy did just suck. That guy looked like he had been training his entire life to pull off this move, and he even still failed. And coming in at number 40 from the episode World's Best Boss, it's going to be the death of the world's best boss. And in this episode, everybody's just trying to, get Benson a super important gift, which just so happens to be a World's Best Boss mug. And when they order it online, a man comes out of a box, punches Pops in the face, and sends all of his men to fight all of our men. Benson shows up and he's like, "What's going on?" They're like, "We were just trying to get you a mug, man." And so Benson goes around, he helps everybody defeat who they're going up against, and it's honestly really funny the way that he helps them, especially the way he tells Muscle Man how to fight. It's just so good. But then you eventually get to when Benson confronts the world's best boss, and he just sucker punches him, which sends him into a van. He just starts driving away, and he gets thrown through the highway and just gets blown up. Yeah, it's pretty good, it's pretty funny, and it's pretty well deserved for the world's best boss. It definitely earns its spot. And coming in at number 39 from the episode The Thanksgiving Day Special, it's going to be the death of Rich Buckner, the richest man in the entire world, the owner of Buckmart. And in this episode, Rich Buckner really wants the turducken because it can actually grant him wishes, and because Mordecai and Rigby sang a way better song that actually encapsulated the feelings of Thanksgiving, he did not win the turducken, but he decides he's going to kidnap it anyway because he needs himself that sweet, sweet wish. And Mordecai and Rigby give chase, and they start fighting Rich Buckner in this actually pretty decent brawl. It's not my favorite fight in the entire series by any means, but it definitely works for the episode. I enjoyed it, and eventually he pushes Mordecai and Rigby out of the blimp, but he didn't realize that he didn't get the correct wishbone, and this leads to the blimp just crashing in to a bridge. Rich Buckner is dead right there. Overall, a pretty enjoyable death, pretty deserving for the rich guy, the rich snobby guy. I enjoyed it a lot. That's why it earns its spot. It's just pretty solid.
I can play video games by myself.
At number 38 from the episode House Rules, we're going to have the death of the No Rules guy, and I found this death really enjoyable because this is really early regular show deaths, and I know it is just an exploding death, but they did these really well where it's just like, you don't expect that to happen, because in this episode, they go to the No Rules world, and they decide that they hate this world because the guy there is an asshole, so they get rid of everybody there, and eventually the No Rules guy is just left there, chilling by himself, playing video games, until a little piece of paper that has a rule on it just slides its way down, and he reads it, and it says no video games, and well, he just explodes because he can't handle that, because if there's a rule in the No Rules world, you're gonna fucking die.
I can play video games by myself.
And that's what happens to him, and now he's dead. Very tragic, but overall pretty funny.
No. Who is it?
Have you seen him?
Seen?
How about you?
And coming in at number 37 from the episode Death Punchies, it's going to just be these three random guys, and I know it's not confirmed kills, but I'm going to say that they die because we never ever see them again, and there's no confirmation that they're alive, and I just think it's really funny, because why would Rigby even do this? In this episode, Rigby's really upset because he can't be player one, so he decides, I'm gonna enslave the park and threaten to kill all of my friends, and when he's searching for Mordecai because he wants to punch Mordecai because Mordecai always beats him in punchies, well, he just goes around asking these random people if they see Mordecai, and when they say no, he just punches them into oblivion for no reason, and it's so funny, but like, why?
No. Who is it?
Have you seen him?
Seen?
How about you?
Why would you do this, Rigby? They didn't even deserve it. But either way, I'm gonna say that they definitely died because he's punching them pretty hard and they literally go flying. I don't think they could tank it, and they're probably dead. Rigby is a menace. Let's just add that to his kill count.
I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise.
And coming in at number 36 from the episode Mordecai and the Rigbys, it's going to be the death of Future Mordecai and Future Rigby. And I don't really know if this is a death per se, or if they're just ceasing to exist because of what they're doing, but either way, it's pretty epic, and I appreciate Mordecai for actually going through with this and being willing to do something like that. When Mordecai discovers when they're playing those tasty licks that they're not actually playing those tasty licks, and they've been lip syncing this entire time, he decides that they're not going to take that path. They're not going to be scummy rock stars in the future that haven't actually earned their fame. So he decides he's going to destroy the shirts, rip them in half, and this causes Future Mordecai and Future Rigby to explode, cease from existence. And it's honestly just pretty epic, and it's pretty respectable, and that's why I like it a lot. I think it's just very enjoyable. It's a great way to end this episode, and the deaths of them contribute to Mordecai and Rigby's character growth a lot, that they're not just going to be these scummy people, even if it means that Mordecai would get with Margaret, even if it means that they would be rock stars, and I don't know, I just enjoy this death a lot, and it's from one of my favorite episodes in the entire series, so that's automatically going to make it a little bit higher on the list.
Need to blow this slacker wonderland! Utopia.
And coming in at number 35 from the episode Benson Be Gone, it's going to be when Leon kills Susan. And I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this one. I mean, you have Leon just being like, Utopia, baby, and just driving the limo into her heels and sending her back into hell because Susan was this hellspawn demon who was just contorting her body in a bunch of different ways, and when she didn't get her way, well, she just releases her giant self, which is just this giant demonic version of herself, and was just gonna wreak havoc on the park. And it was up to Benson to crash into the heels, but Leon comes over, pushes Benson out of the car, takes over, and just crashes the car into the heels, and yeah, it's overall pretty epic.
Need to blow this slacker wonderland! Utopia.
It's definitely not my favorite death in the entire series, but just this entire sequence is just so regular show for me. It's just these random events that just you don't understand happening. Why did Leon even have the golf cart? Why did he even come over and just decide to do this for no reason? I don't get it, but I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a great death of Susan and a great death for Leon at the same exact time. And coming in at number 34 from the episode Expert or Liar, it's going to be the death of Bert Coleman. And I just really like all the build up to this one with Rigby, like on the final question of this game show, where he has to answer the stupidest question that Bert Coleman ever could have given him, which is, who holds the high score in the game Broken Bones? I don't know why he would possibly ask that, because it was obviously Rigby who holds the high score in that. But either way, Rigby answers that question. He flies up, fist in hand, punches Bert Coleman, and sends him literally just into the abyss, and Bert Coleman dies. I don't know why this game show had to involve death for the season finale. I don't even understand how Bert Coleman managed to put this together and put them in this like darkness reality where I don't get it. I don't understand how Bert Coleman did any of this. But either way, Bert Coleman's death, pretty satisfying, pretty good, and overall just pretty epic. That's why it earns its spot. And coming in at number 33 from the episode Country Club, it's going to be the death of the country club owner, like the main guy of the country club, just like, yeah, this fat bald guy. And Mordecai and Rigby managed to shove him through his toilet transformation machine that turns anything into a toilet, and he also gets turned into a toilet, gets put in a rocket, launched into space, and I mean, he's just seen floating in there, but I'm pretty sure he's dead. I mean, he's just a toilet guy floating in space. I'm pretty sure he eventually dies, if not, is already dead. Yeah, pretty gruesome death for that guy, but pretty deserved for a guy that has a weird fetish of turning things into toilets. I don't know. I don't understand the rich life. When you're rich, do you have a absurd addiction to, like, having something become a toilet? I don't know. I don't get it, but the build up to this death was pretty good, and then it was overall pretty satisfying to watch him go through this and get sent into space. That's why it earns its spot. It's just pretty enjoyable to watch this snobby asshole get turned into a toilet. At number 32 from the episode Just Set Up the Chairs is the first death that we ever get to see in the entire series, and it's the death of the special entertainment, because you know who else likes special entertainment like that? My mom. I mean, I feel so bad for these guys. I mean, they get dragged out to go to this park when they're clearly just, you know, alcoholics or whatever. I mean, Muscle Man opens the door and just beer cans just flood out of there, and yeah, they don't look like they're very much into this line of work, but either way, they go out there, they're about to like entertain all these children, but he doesn't realize that Mordecai and Rigby unleash the destroyer of worlds, and they're about to, you know, start their performance, and they just get zapped and disintegrated right there. And yes, it's really funny, but man, I just felt bad for these guys. Overall, for the first death of the entire show, it was pretty good. Pretty good first death to show us, what's eventually to come later on in the series, which just gets more and more gruesome as the show goes on. But for the first death we ever get to see, this was already pretty dang gruesome. But overall, really funny as well.
He could be all right.
And coming in at number 31 from the episode Dead at 8, it's going to be the death of Muscle Man. And in this episode, Mordecai and Rigby are just roasting Muscle Man because he'll never go off this water slide that he's building, which is honestly really cool. It looks so awesome. I wish I could just build my own water slide out of this entire mountain and make it one of the coolest water slides that I've ever seen. But either way, Muscle Man's very hesitant about this because it's not ready. He still has to add a bunch of support stuff so that nothing will go wrong. But Mordecai and Rigby are just like, you'll never do it, dude. You'll never do it. So Muscle Man, well, he does it. He's going, he's having a good time, but the ramp that he built at the end, it breaks, and then we just get this sequence that I find really funny where Muscle Man is just flinging in the air, just screaming. He hits a tree, he falls all the way down the tree, just hitting every single branch, falls into a car, and well, yeah, he's dead.
He could be all right.
And then we get the entire rest of the episode, which is about babysitting Thomas to bring Muscle Man back from the dead and just keep his soul inside of his body. It's just so good. It's such a funny death, and it's a great way to open the episode. I think that's why I love it so much. I mean, just something about Muscle Man's screams and the fact that it was Muscle Man makes it all the better. If it was a character like Skips, or actually, I would laugh a lot at Pops dying. But if it was a character like Skips or Benson, I probably wouldn't have found it as enjoyable. It just plays well off Muscle Man's voice that makes it all the better.
Stay dead!
Tanks, but
Wait!
no tanks!
And coming in at number 30 from the episode Benson's Suit, it's going to be the death of Rich Steve and the poor guy in this helicopter. In this episode, Benson gets this super awesome suit that is alive and is able to make Benson fight like he's been fighting for years, and he gives him the strength of the Hulk. He's able to literally do anything. The only problem with this is that this rich guy Steve will not let this happen, so he brings an entire army to fight Benson, and I'm not really going to talk about any of the other deaths because they're all just kind of fodder, with Benson just throwing them away, just getting rid of them. But the death of this helicopter guy is just so epic, with Benson literally jumping up into the air and just destroying the helicopter, bringing it down and blowing it up. Yeah, I felt bad for the pilot there. And then we get to the death of Rich Steve, where Benson literally picks up the tank that he's in and just chucks it away into the city.
Stay dead!
Tanks, but
Wait!
no tanks!
And overall, it's just pretty epic. Definitely one of the best fights in the entire series, and a pretty deserved death for Rich Steve, this guy who murdered the suit's father and was trying to kill everyone there just to get the suit. Pretty deserved death, pretty epic death. Definitely earns the number 30 spot. And coming in at number 29 from the episode Out of Commission, it's going to be the death of the cart. In this episode, the cart becomes alive because Mordecai and Rigby pour some soda on him. He turns to life, and Mordecai and Rigby just try to get him the best day ever before they take him to the dump. And at the end of this super awesome day with him, having sex, fighting, doing all this awesome stuff, well, he decides that he wants to go out his way. He wants to go out the way that he deserves, which is full of fireworks, going off a cliff in this awesome blaze of glory. And it's a great death for this vehicle that is now alive. He goes off the edge. We got fireworks. He's just doing it. He's going off. He plummets down into the ocean, and that's his death. And he's gone forever because in the rest of the series, we never see that he ever talks ever again. So I'm assuming he dies. And the reason I'm saying that we never see him talk again is because Mordecai and Rigby at the end of the episode, Benson's like, hey, actually, we do need to keep that cart because Muscle Man got third-degree burns from the new one. So they have to go back and fish him out. And I'm pretty sure he just died. So now are they just driving his corpse if he used to be sentient? Or do they not even care about that? I'm not sure. Either way, pretty epic death for a golf cart. At 28 from the episode Over the Top, we're going to have the death of Rigby once again, except this time he dies because of skips. In this episode, Rigby is using Playco Arm Boy, just this metal rod that attaches to your arm, that can make it so you can never lose an arm wrestling match, to prank Skips, and he beats him not once, but twice, and Skips just cannot handle this. He can't handle the fact that he can lose to this tiny-ass raccoon with no, like, noticeable muscle on his entire body. It's driving Skips insane. It's pissing him off, and when Skips is rummaging through their room trying to figure out how Rigby could possibly be beating him, Mordecai pities him and tells him that it's Playco Arm Boy. So he goes to the restaurant. Rigby's like, set him up, old man. And Skips picks him up, rips off Playco Arm Boy, grabs his arm, lifts him into the air, and shoves him through the table, killing Rigby. And just watching everybody's faces just look so shocked at what's going on is just so good. And I completely understand the title of this episode, because Skips really went over the top with his reaction to Rigby pranking him and literally killing him. It's just so good. The classical music in the background makes it all the more funny and just all the more gruesome. I loved it so much. It's so funny. Such a good death in the series.
Hit the deck!
At 27, we have the death of Party Pete, and just like the episode that I talked about way back when, Party Repeat, in this death, he is also being force-fed a lot of soda, and I mean a lot of soda because he's just a party animal. He's just partying it up, and they get the brilliant idea that the only way to stop him from partying is if they give him way too much soda, and I enjoy this one a lot more than the other one because there's just so much build-up to it, so much tension to him exploding, just the green lighting, just everything about him slowly inflating more and more and more, everybody running out of the way because he's about to blow, and then it's just big explosion. It's so good. It's so awesome.
Hit the deck!
Just one of the best deaths in all of regular show. Definitely a pretty good episode, and Party Pete is just so funny. Just like, oh yeah, man, I could drink all of that soda. And just starts literally like forcing all of the soda to just float around him, and he just sucks it all in at once. And then he just blows up, and it's a great death. It's visually one of the best deaths in the entire series. It is just so funny. Definitely earns being this high up on the list.
Oh, this stuff's delicious!
And coming in at number 26 from the episode Meet Your Maker, it's going to be the death of all of the hot dogs. Yes, there's these sentient hot dogs that come to life, and they trick Rigby into thinking that they're going to help them with the barbecue because they want to be eaten, but it turns out that they want to eat everybody else. But in reality, they kind of did want to be eaten because they just taste so delicious. When they corner Rigby, they're about to get Rigby so that they could eat him. Rigby squirts some ketchup and mustard onto them, and this one guy is just like, oh, this stuff is delicious!
Oh, this stuff's delicious!
And just starts eating everybody around them. They all start eating each other because they're just so tasty, so delicious, so yummy. And then the last one literally eats himself out of existence. It's so funny. It's so good. Definitely an amazing, just, subversion of deaths for these evil hot dogs that wanted to eat all of us. For them to just end up eating all of themselves and just becoming cannibals. Yeah, not what I was expecting for the episode, but it was a welcome surprise and definitely made the episode way better and just one of the regular show classics for sure.
Step off!
And coming in at number 25, we're going to have two deaths from the same guy here because they're both basically the same, but it's going to be from A Bunch of Baby Ducks and from the episode Exit 9B, and it's going to be the Duck Collector. I don't really know what else you would call this guy, but in the episode A Bunch of Baby Ducks, he steals the baby ducks, and eventually Mordecai and Rigby and the mom come to save them, and the truck crashes, and he's about to kill their mom, and that's when the baby ducks, pump their fists into the air and turn into our giant buff duck man for some odd reason. I don't know why they're ever able to do this, but they can, and they're all like, step off, and just destroy him right there. He explodes.
Step off!
Honestly, pretty epic and definitely one of the most shocking deaths of the entire series, because why can the ducks do this in the first place. I mean, I'm not complaining because it leads to so many amazing episodes, but it's just honestly crazy. And then we also have the one in Exit 9B where, you know, everybody is resurrected from hell and the duck collector returns just to, you know, get stepped off again. And he just slices him in half this time instead of literally exploding him. And he's dead. He's gone. And wow, imagine coming back to life just to die in the exact same way you did before. That's pretty tragic for this guy. But either way, he was a horrible person, definitely deserved his death, and got a pretty epic one at that. That's why it earns its spot.
Dave! Master, I thought you said this was gonna be so much fun! Ugh.
And coming in at number 24 from the episode Stick Hockey, it's going to be the death of Dave. And if you don't know who Dave is, he was Benson's apprentice when Benson used to be a professional stick hockey player. And at this tournament, you know, it's just supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be a good time. Dave is going up against this guy, this just giant guy who seems pretty menacing. And well, this guy uses the stick hockey table, slashes the sticks together to make an X, and then cuts off his head. Like, why? And you just feel so bad for this guy because his head is just floating in the air. Benson catches it and he's just like, I thought this was gonna be fun, master. And then he just dies right there.
Oh, my neck! Dave!
This one ranks pretty high up just because it's so memorable for me, just because I will always think of this episode. Anytime I see stick hockey now, I just think of poor Dave dying. Just so brutally, for no reason over a stick hockey match, man. He just wanted to have fun and he got murdered for it, and just nobody cares. There's no repercussions in this world for any death that occurs. Poor Dave. Poor, poor Dave. And coming in at number 23 from the episode Camping Can Be Cool, it's going to be the death of the deer. And this episode had a lot of subtle foreshadowing of this deer that had just been sitting there watching them as they're camping in the forest. And when Mordecai locks Margaret's keys in her car, that's when the deer decides that he's had enough. And he comes out from the bushes and it's revealed that he is just this humanoid, grotesque man deer thing. And he starts chasing them, trying to kill them all, trying to hunt them down. And yeah, it's honestly a pretty good chase scene. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the deer as a villain a lot, and he dies in the most deer way ever. Just, you know, he's about to kill them all, and you know, he sees some lights coming in the distance, he stares at them, and then he just gets hit by this truck, and yeah, the deer dies right there. Pretty crazy, but overall a pretty funny death, especially for a deer to die in the most deer way possible. And yeah, I just loved all the build-up with the deer, just hunting them down. It was so good. It was a great chase scene. And just to have a pretty comedic death with the fact that this deer is supposed to be super intelligent and smarter than every other forest creature, just for him to die in the most deer way possible. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. It's a pretty good death. That's why it ranks up this high. And coming in at number 22 from the episode Sandwich of Death, I'm going to be specifically looking at the death of the Death Kwon Do Grand Master here, and when he's going up against Mordecai and Rigby and the Sensei, because they're trying to get the Sandwich of Life, because Benson is literally dying, he is going to use the double-decker Sandwich of Death on them. He sends them their way, but Sensei uses a little bird to call for this little note, sends it to Mordecai and Rigby, and they perform the Death Kwon Do bicycle dropkick, flipping backwards, kicking the sandwich back into his mouth. It just goes... and then he just explodes. It's so good. It's so epic. From one of the best episodes in the entire series, fights-wise. It's just so good. Such a good death for that guy. It's just so funny to watch this giant-ass sandwich just fly back into his mouth and him just explode. Yeah. Pretty crazy stuff. Makes the episode better, makes him as a villain better, and even more memorable. That's why it ranks higher up on the list.
This means I have failed. Gomenasai, Shinahara-senpai.
And coming in at number 21 from the episode Fool Me Twice, it's going to be the game show host death, as well as this poor little robot's death. And I'm going to talk about the robot first here. When Mordecai, Rigby, and Benson are able to complete the Baka Blitz for the first time, this giant-ass obstacle course, the robot just starts saying, "Oh, I have failed," and just explodes and commits suicide. Like, why? Why did he do that? He just explodes himself for no reason. I felt bad for him because he looked so sad that he had failed. It was just tragic.
This means I have failed. Gomenasai, Shinahara-senpai.
And then you have the death of the actual game show host, who is trying to literally kill them because his fist just has an immense urge to punch people. He just can't contain himself. His fist is just growing rapidly, so he tries to kill Mordecai, Rigby, and Benson without them actually getting the chance to complete the obstacle course fully. And Benson is able to fool him one last time by saying Mount Fuji is right over there, and because he is fooled for a third time, his fist turns on him and like starts stretching up, punches him in the face, and then he falls into the lava.
3 times! No!
Such a cool death. It's so random. I don't understand how they get the ideas for all these weird, wacky things. I mean, him having a fist that could just grow rapidly, and then it's going to turn on him and punch himself in the face. Like, who thinks of that stuff? Either way, a lot of fun. Very good death. Very good episode. Any death that makes the episode more memorable is definitely going to rank higher on the list, and this definitely made the episode more memorable.
You can say to put me to rest, so really, I've already won.
And coming in at number 20, it's going to be from the episode Wrap It Up, and it's going to be all of Crew dying in horrible ways, all thanks to poetry. In this episode, we got MC Light, who is going up against Rigby in a poetry rap battle, and just is doing really good with her raps, but, you know, Rigby's just able to bust it out even better with his poetry, and she gets crushed by stone, and although it's not really confirmed that she actually dies here, I can, you know, make the inference that, you know, her getting crushed by rock is going to break every single bone in her body, and she's going to die. And then you have Tyler, the creator, showing up, going up against Mordecai. You know, he's wrapping it up, he's doing his best, but Mordecai is able to, you know, use poetry to grow wings onto his back, and Tyler, the creator, flies into the sky. And I mean, even if these wings don't stay, he's going to inevitably either drop all the way down to his death, and if the wings do stay, then he's going to keep flying upwards all the way into the sky and just, like, suffocate in space or something. Either way, pretty bad for Tyler, definitely dead. And then you have Childish Gambino, who is just spitting the best bars in the entire episode, and Pops also uses some poetry here, and just unleashes this, like, little tiny blast of pink light, and explodes Childish Gambino, and he's dead right there.
You can say to put me to rest, so really, I've already won.
All of them died, and just the combination of the rapping, mixed with the poetry, mixed with all the awesome visuals, just makes it some of the best deaths in the entire series. And coming in at number 19 from the regular show movie is going to be the death of Future Mordecai. And in this, Mr. Ross is about to launch this destruction volleyball at past Mordecai. So Future Mordecai jumps in the way, stops it, but it explodes his chest. And we just get this pretty nice speech between Future Mordecai and past Mordecai, just saying how he wished that he never turned to the dark side, he never became evil, because he would much rather be spending the time with his bro, playing video games, enjoying his life, instead of turning against all of his friends. And this death ranks a little bit higher on the list just because I think it's really good for Mordecai's character to learn that even though Rigby messed up really bad, he would much rather be friends with him and much rather enjoy his life than just hating on Rigby and just wanting to kill him for the rest of his life. I think it just works really well for Mordecai's character. That's why I'm going to rank it a little bit higher. And then at number 18 from the episode Grave Sites, I'm just going to combine a bunch of the zombie deaths here into just one ranking because, I mean, they're all super cool, but they're all kind of the same in their own right. It doesn't take away from how epic it is because regular show did zombies justice. I mean, we get so many cool deaths here with them throwing a disc into one of their faces and him just imploding into his face. That was so good. Then you have Skips running, and it matches with the movie, with what's going on in the movie, running with a pole vault and just stabbing a bunch of zombies, jumping up and just destroying all of their heads. That was so cool. And then you have the awesome finale sequence where Mordecai and Rigby are in the golf cart. The movie is also matching it, with them both driving into the super buff zombie, destroying it, imploding it, and just the screen catches on fire. It's just so cool. It's so epic. I just love the combination of the actual scenes matching with the Evil Dead style movie, and it's so cool. It's so epic. Definitely some of the best like kills in the entire series. Coming in at number 17 from the episode This Is My Jam, we're gonna have all of the guys singing Aw Snap. Aw snap, come to our macaroni party and we'll take a nap, going up against summertime lovin', lovin' in the summertime, because they're going to kill the summertime lovin' by using this song to have this ultimate awesome, like visually stunning battle between these two like guitar guys in the sky, using their songs against each other, playing it louder, playing it more powerful. Benson is able to show up and add a beat to the song, which leads to Summertime Lovin' getting destroyed, imploding, cracking, exploding. It's just so cool. It's visually awesome. One of the coolest ways that anybody has died in the entire series, and definitely makes for one of the best deaths in the entire show.
What the? Ha! You missed.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. What?
At 16, we have the death of Mr. Ross in the regular show movie, and he is such a cool villain, and the way he gets to go out is honestly just so gruesome and so brutal and just seems so torturous. He's fighting against Mordecai and Rigby. Tecmo is able to throw him a sword. Rigby runs up, jumps up, slices his head off, pushes his body away from his head, and Mr. Ross is just left there floating.
What the? Ha! You missed.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. What?
But because he has a collar that could rewind time to before he died, he just keeps rewinding with his head off, just experiencing the same pain, the same brutality over and over and over again. And for a man that was trying to destroy the entire history of time, it's a deserved death, but it doesn't take away from just how brutal it is. And because it's so brutal, it's going to rank higher up because, oh man, that just looks like it sucks. And then coming in at number 15 from the episode Kill 'Em With Kindness, this is definitely also just one of the saddest, most brutal deaths in the entire series. It's going to be the death of Earl. And when Pops thinks that he could like solve the issue with Anti-Pops diplomatically, he invites Anti-Pops to meet at this arcade, and Anti-Pops nearly erases him from existence. And everybody comes there, barely saves Pops, and it's up to Earl to hold off Anti-Pops. He jumps into him, heroically holding him back, and we just get to see this scene from Pops' POV, just heartbeats in the background, no joke, no music. It's just honestly so gruesome. It's so horrible as Anti-Pops walks up to Earl, grabs him on the shoulders, and just erases him from existence. And it's just honestly so brutal. And honestly was a great way to showcase just the power of Anti-Pops and made him honestly a little bit scary. I mean, I know he's just evil Pops, but just watching Earl just be on his back, just staring up at Anti-Pops as he just gets grabbed and just gets slowly erased. Oh, it's definitely gruesome, and it's definitely earns the number 15 spot. And coming in at number 14 from the episode Rage Against the TV, we're going to have a bit of a wombo combo death for you here, because in the battle between the Hammer, when he comes to life, he gains sentience and he just starts destroying all of our park guys. Jimmy shows up and he's like, hey man, can I just crash here? And then the Hammer launches this like energy Kamehameha blast at him, and he just floats up and just gets exploded. It's just so funny. I feel so bad for Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy. He just dies in such a brutal way. And then they're actually just beating the shit out of the Hammer, hitting him with a laundry machine, hitting him with all the furniture. And eventually he like jumps up to attack Skips, and they throw Skips a chair and he just lands on his balls. Yeah, pretty dang bad for our main man, the Hammer, and they just grab the controllers out of his body and just play the game on his head and kill him. The Hammer is done. He's defeated, and that's how the Hammer dies. Pretty amazing fight, pretty brutal death. I mean, can you imagine gaining sentience and the only thing that's in your brain is to attack people? So you start attacking people, and the only thing that you get to feel in life is getting bashed with a laundry machine, getting your balls crushed, and then people grabbing your innards and just start mashing the buttons inside of you. Yeah. Pretty dang brutal for our main man, the Hammer, but still pretty epic. That's why it earns number 14.
Keep breathing! Keep breathing!
And coming in at number 13 from the episode I See Turtles, I'm just going to do this combination of deaths here because they're all kind of the same, but they're all so funny. We have Eileen giving an impassioned speech to all of these turtles to take back their freedom and to stop making people seem youthful. So they all just start going around and just slapping people out of existence, just rejuvenating them out of existence, and it's so funny. Because all you hear is just these like little slapping noises, and they're just gone. There's no corpse, there's no skeleton, they just disappear, and it's so funny watching all the turtles just go around and do this to all of these people.
Keep breathing! Keep breathing!
and then eventually the turtles hijack a cop car and drive it into the ocean with these other club members and these police officers on it. It's so good. It's so funny. I love all of the turtles going around and doing all this, and it definitely makes for one of the best episodes in the entire series. I love all of these deaths. They're just so funny. And then coming in at number 12 from the episode Fancy Restaurant, it's going to be the death of Mater D. I don't really know if all the Redcoats die in this episode. I know they get their shit rocked, but I don't know if they actually die. So I'm just going to be looking at Mater D here. And when they defeat all the Redcoats, they're all just chilling. Mater D comes out from the shadows with a fork in hand, and he gets tripped and falls out of a window. And he's just laying on the car like... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead here, and I'm surprised that they could show this stuff in a kid's cartoon, because this is just such a gruesome death for him to just be flung out of a window, land on a car with his spine broken, his eyes rolled back, and he's just dead. That's just so crazy that they're allowed to show what they were allowed to show in the show. I love it so much. It's definitely one of the funniest deaths in the entire series, even if it is just like a 7-second clip of him just running and being flung out a window. I love it so much. It definitely makes this episode all the more memorable and all the more better.
It's all gone.
And coming in at number 11 from the episode The Christmas Special, we're going to have the death of Quilgan the Elf. And this death, this entire battle leading up to the death, is just so good. It creates so much tension. You're just wondering what's going to happen, because Mordecai and Rigby literally shove Quilgan into this like lava pit, and they're falling down all the way towards the lava.
It's all gone.
And they're just midair fighting, brawling over this box. You have Quilgan trying to grab an explosive to destroy Christmas inside of the box. You have Mordecai and Rigby trying to grab the box to save themselves by using anything they possibly can. It's tense. It's emotional. It has some comedy moments with Rigby just trying to wish for ice cream instead of a bomb. It's just so good. You got Christmas music in the background. You have Quilgan getting shoved into the lava at the end, and Mordecai and Rigby barely escaping with their lives flying upwards using the hoverboards. It's so good. It just helps to make this one of my favorite Christmas specials of all time. It's just so awesome, and definitely a great end to such a great villain, that being Quilgan. I enjoyed it so much.
No way! I'm not going anywhere near that guy!
And coming in at number 10 from the episode Guitar Rock, it's going to be the death of this guy that is just simply asking for a pen.
Boy, mate, can I borrow your pen?
And I feel so bad for this guy. Like, why did he deserve this fate of being chucked in a ceiling and exploding just for asking to borrow a pen? I mean, he's already in Rockstar Underworld. Like, what else could he have done? Like, what were you gonna do? It's not like he's gonna leave. He's already in the pinnacle of where he should be. I just felt so bad for this guy.
No rules.
And coming in at number 9, it's going to be the Porta Potty death at Exit 9B, with the No Rules guy returning one more time for this awesome epic battle. He's doing good. He even manages to destroy Skip's Fist of Justice. He's doing good until, well, he gets shoved into a porta potty, and then, you know, our beautiful buff duck man grabs the porta potty, starts shaking it, of all things, throws it up into the air, and it gets hit by a plane. Yeah, probably the most disrespectful death in the entire series, but I mean, I hate the No Rules guy, so honestly pretty deserved and pretty dang funny.
Junior! You just broke the universe record for disappointing your father!
And coming in at number 8, also from Exit 9B, I mean, I could talk about a lot of deaths in Exit 9B, but I really wanted to talk about the ones that were just important, because, I mean, everybody else who dies, I kind of already talked about them in one way or another, and in reality, they just implode at the end, and everybody gets sucked back into hell. But the main death that I want to talk about here is the death of Garrett Bobby Ferguson and Garrett Bobby Ferguson Jr. I mean, Garrett Bobby Ferguson for the second time, but Garrett Bobby Ferguson Jr. for the first time, because their plan fails at the end. Garrett Bobby Ferguson Jr. just gets to hear this.
Junior! You just broke the universe record for disappointing your father!
That you're such a horrible son, and you're a failure, and you're the worst son I could ever have, as he watches his father literally explode in front of him. So, Garrett Bobby Ferguson Jr., in retaliation to seeing this, you know, horrible, like, the situation of his father dying in front of him, also explodes, and it's just so funny and a very deserved death.
No!
for one of the most iconic villains in all of regular show, and I don't know what else you want me to say. Watching these giant floating heads explode into brain matter is just so funny.
You know who else grows really big to show their dominance, but is actually really small deep down? My mom.
Good one.
And coming in at number 7 from a regular epic final battle is going to be the death of Muscle Man and High Five Ghost when Anti-Pops is erasing them from existence. And this death is not really played for laughs, except for the fact that Muscle Man's last words is a my mom joke.
You know who else grows really big to show their dominance, but is actually really small deep down? My mom.
Good one.
And the thing that I don't like about this death is that they give High Five Ghost no lines here. This guy has been here since season 1 and this is the finale, and you can't give him a single line when he's actually dying. I mean, you'd think he just says, nice one, and gives him a high five. Give him something meaningful to say. I mean, come on, he's being erased from existence forever. I mean, I know he comes back an episode later, but come on, give him something to say. But either way, it doesn't take away from how emotional this death was originally, because you didn't know if Muscle Man and High Five Ghost were actually going to come back after this, because, I mean, they were erased from existence. And it's not really played for laughs. It's just an emotional scene where we get to watch 2 beloved characters actually die, get erased from existence. It's just very sad. That's why I'm going to rank it up a little bit higher on this list.
Hector! No!
And coming in at number 6 from the episode Firework Run, it's going to be the death of Hector. And throughout the entire episode, Hector keeps on saying if this firework El Diablo is ever lit, it is prophesized to literally kill him. And well, that does not disappoint, because he ends up being the one who accidentally lights the firework. It pops off, goes into the sky, and it's just this big old Chili just having a great time, just shooting his guns, shooting all these fireworks. Everybody loves it until, well, you know, he looks down and Hector!
No!
And just starts blasting Hector with a bunch of like shots of fireworks, blasts him all the way into the air and launches him all the way back towards his factory, and just flying super fast into a sign, and he explodes. And yeah, the prophecy was fulfilled in a very epic way, and Hector, even though you didn't really want to die, you got one of the most epic deaths in the entire series. I'll give you that, man. Definitely earning the number 6 spot. And coming in at number 5 from the episode Skip's story is going to be the death of Mona. And when you take into consideration that this was the only 22 minutes that we ever got of Mona, and they used it so well to build Skip's and Mona's relationship, build Mona as a character, you get to see their bond, you get to see them falling in love, you get to see Mona literally save Skip's life, jumping in the way to knock Skip's out of the way so that he wouldn't get hit by Clorgmane's like weapon, and then the ceiling debris just falls onto Mona and she dies right there. It's just all so sad. You have so much emotional buildup with this, especially with like Skip showing up to take her to prom, and her parents say that it's somebody's daughter and to take care of her, and she ends up dying that night. It's definitely one of the more emotional deaths in the entire series, and it's just very impactful for Skips' character. We get to learn why Skips is always skipping, the only woman that he ever loved. We get to learn all of this lore stuff for Skips, and yeah, it's just a very sad death for Mona, so it definitely deserves to be this high up on the list.
What's up, gumball?
And coming in at number 4 from Terror Tales 1, I'm going to be specifically looking at the story where Rigby gets turned into a house here. I was really going to keep all of the Terror Tales off of this list because they're not canon, but I feel like I just have to at least talk about this one story because they're all just so good. It has so many good deaths, and honestly the most gruesome ones in the entire series. The other Terror Tales, yeah, they have their moments, but nothing really compares to this one short story. And I really like the first death here because it's just so gruesome, and I don't know how anybody could have been like, this is very, very good. It's a jolly good show for children's television. Oh, yes. Because Muscle Man gets dragged into the woods by this invisible wizard, and he comes back, knocks on the door, and he is literally skinned. Yeah, you just get to see all of his muscles, all of his flesh is just gone. And then you have Mordecai getting his head chopped off. You have High Five Ghost getting sucked into a phone.
Oh, goodbye.
You have Skips getting thrown into a chimney and burnt alive.
You can't handle the heat. Get out of the kitchen.
You have Benson getting shoved down a toilet, and all you could see coming back up is his gumballs.
What's up, Gumball?
And then you have Rigby getting drowned in an egg. Yeah. Very crazy deaths here. Some of the craziest deaths in the entire series. Definitely deserves to be up this high, even though it's not really canon to the entire series because, I mean, they're just short stories. But it doesn't take away from how gruesome these deaths were. And coming in at number 3 from the episode Gary Synthesizer, it's going to be the death of the King of Synthos, David. And everything leading up to this death is honestly just so good. I mean, the battle with David and Gary and just their corresponding but different musics just combining together to create this sick, awesome beat. As they're just using music to blast each other, and then David is eventually losing. He's on the back ropes. He gets launched into this platform, and this platform starts going up, and he gets launched into the center of a star, into the center of a sun. It's just so cool.
Launch resumed.
Thank you.
What an epic way to go, man. I mean, I know you didn't want to die, but it's just so crazy. It's so good. And if I was going to die, I'd want to go in a blazing glory up into the center core of a star. That's so awesome. How can you even argue about that being such a epic death? I mean, you just get such an awesome battle between Gary and David, and it leads to this pinnacle peak death of regular show with Gary getting sent into a core of a star. And it's just so cool. That's why it's got to be number 3 on the list. And coming in at number 2 from the episode High Score, it has to be the first death of Garrett Bobby Ferguson. And this death is just so good. It's peak regular show. It definitely shocked me as a kid because I was not expecting it. I mean, yes, people had exploded before in the series, but at this point, it was never this gruesome and never this funny. Because, I mean, Mordecai and Rigby defeat Garrett Bobby Ferguson in broken bones. He collapses to his knees, starts screaming, and then he just explodes and his brain matter goes everywhere. And it's so funny. It's just, for me, it's definitely the most iconic death in all of regular show. It's the most memorable. Like, if somebody was to come up to me in the street and be all like, hey, what's your most memorable regular show death? What's your favorite regular show death? I would probably most definitely immediately think of this one. Even if I was to like a death more or like be thinking of another death, if somebody was to ask me what my favorite is, I would definitely choose this one just because it feels so iconic. I mean, Garrett Bobby Ferguson just exploding, turning into brain matter. It's just so good. It's peak regular show, and it's one of the best ways that they have ever ended an episode. I love it so much. Definitely a peak death. Definitely earns the number 2 spot.
I know, so I'm not going to let go.
What?
And coming in at number 1 from a regular epic final battle, the best death in the entire series has to go to Pops. Pops going out on his terms in a way that saves the entire universe was something well-deserved, but so sad. It is one of the only deaths in the entire series that could actually make me shed a tear, because it's just so sad to watch Pops grab onto Anti-Pops and just slowly fly him into the sun, explaining that he's not going to let him go because this is the only way that he could save the universe.
I know, so I'm not going to let go.
What?
He gives one final talk to Mordecai and Rigby about how this is a happy ending.
Don't worry, Mordecai and Rigby. I know you're sad, but I promise this is a happy ending. Take care of each other. Goodbye.
As we watch one of our favorite characters fly into the sun, saving the entire universe. And I will never forget about Pops' sacrifice.
I wish I could take it all back.
You can try. You and I together, brother.
He is one of my favorite characters in the entire show. I mean, he is a jolly good show. He is just so good from beginning to end. He is such a pure soul. He is a character that could always make you laugh, that could always make you smile, just with how oblivious he is to the world around him. And just watching that character of all the characters in the show, the least deserving of death, fly into the sun, and just that's the end of him. There's no reversing it. There's no going back on it. It just is so emotional and it's so sad, and that's why it's definitely the best death in all of regular show. It has the most emotional impact out of every other death on this list. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content just like this. I make content about regular show, SpongeBob, BoJack, Adventure Time, Gumball, all of that great stuff almost every single day, and you do not want to miss it, so you want to be subscribed. And yeah, I appreciate every single one of you. If you're one of my regulars and you enjoyed this video, then yeah, I appreciate you. Comment what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, what death I missed, and yeah, lots of good stuff on the way. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.